5 on your mental health tonight, a new first for the iconic Barbie brand. Mattel says it's now selling a doll with autism. Her accessories include a fidget spinner and noise-canceling headphones to reduce stress. She also carries a pink tablet, just like the ones that some kids use to communicate. Joining us now is Dr. Erica Lee, a psychologist at Boston Children's Hospital. Nice to see you, Doctor.
Hey, Doctor. Happy Monday. So the doll's designers say that they worked with autism advocates for 18 months to develop the final product. So what do you think about what you know and what we've just told you?
I think it's fantastic. This is just another way for dolls to be more accessible, more inclusive, and more affirming to the many different types of kids are out there. You know, in addition to the great details that you described, there's other really nice things that are thoughtful about the way that this doll is designed. Like the eye gaze is slightly off to the side because a lot of kids with autism prefer not to make direct eye contact, or how the doll's wearing loose-fitting and flowy soft dress, which really points to how kids with autism may not like the feeling of clothing on their skin. You know, it can seem kind of like a small thing to not have a doll that looks like you or represents a community that you are a part of. But for kids, this can have such a positive impact on their self-esteem and their sense of belonging. I mean, think about what it would be like to go out there to try to find a toy or a doll that represents you and not be able to find one. This is really special, and I love that they work with autism advocates on it.
And to that point, the Barbie line already includes dolls with type 1 diabetes, hearing aids, vitiligo, a wheelchair, a prosthetic limb. So what would you tell parents about buying one of these?
You know, these toys can just be great conversation starters and teaching tools, right? Even if you don't have a child with those differences, it's really important as a parent to normalize that we don't all look, act, or behave the same ways, and that's okay, right? There are many different kinds of people in the world, kids and adults. It's a beautiful thing. Having a diverse range of dolls, you know, tells our kids you all deserve to be appreciated and respected and treated with kindness. That's a message that I hope all parents can reinforce, even through something like the toys that their kids have.
And Dr. Lee, what are some other ways to teach young children about diversity and disabilities or ability limits? I don't know what the correct phraseology is, but you know what I'm saying.
I do. I think just really actually being very intentional about talking to children about these things. These are important concepts and dynamics in the world that children, of course, observe over time. But as a parent, explicitly naming and talking about differences in positive ways, exposing your kids to books, to dolls with diverse characters, normalizing, you know, there's not one specific way to be or look or act that's better than anyone else. You know, kids recognize and respond to hierarchy in society just like the rest of us. And if parents don't comment on it, they kind of take their own messages away from that. So it's often better to hear from caregivers, what are our values as a family? How do we want you to see yourself? How do we want you to treat other people? How do we want you to accept that difference is not a bad thing? It's actually a really beautiful thing that we should celebrate.
That's for sure. Dr. Lee, thank you so much.
Well put, Dr. Lee.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your